starting on the S&P 500, and you can see that we broke down from our ascending wedge today. We did close the day above it, but in after hours, we are flirting with that again. And usually when you wick below a trend line like that, it's just foreshadowing what is to come. And we saw that exact same thing yesterday on the NASDAQ, where we wicked below right here. And today we dropped down and closed well below that range. So now we have our downside price targets to look out to, 23,000 roughly for the NASDAQ, which corresponds to the bottom of this consolidation zone over the summer of 2025. And if we look back at the S&P 500, we're looking at 6,500 roughly, which is the top of this consolidation zone over the summer, which makes sense because the S&P 500 has generally been holding up better than the NASDAQ. Now, the semiconductor space has been holding up the NASDAQ, and you can see it's had a brutal couple of days, turning into a daily downtrend just about with the optimized trend they're about to flip. And if we look at our previous highs and we draw a support line across, where we bounced today is really the major point of support within this recent range, these previous highs at around 374. And we did get a little bit of a reprieve, but we have to see if that's going to hold. And right now we still have a good bit to drop for the daily chart to reset. Even though we have these lower price targets, and let's go back to the daily here, we're not going to move down in a straight line. So don't be surprised if there are counter trend rallies, but if we see a move up that either rejects at this breakdown zone or even gets a little bit into it but makes a higher low on the daily, that could just be a little bit of a relief rally before we see more downside. And we have broken this structure with lower lows here. So if you haven't gotten out of any positions and you see that lower high form, not financial advice, but that would be a position in which you could get a bit more defensive by either cutting those positions, picking up some hedges, something to protect for this reset. Because a lot of the individual charts we're going to look at do suggest that we have at least 2 more weeks, maybe a little bit more of downside in store.